What's up, guys? So I've been hearing a lot about people saying that Melee Zaku's broken and, you know, paid suits OP and all that kind of stuff, right? So I want to make this video to kind of showcase my gameplay and just let you guys see what I think about it, really, and why I think people think that. So this character is a lot of fun, I do have to say, and it fits my kind of playstyle like extremely well. It is a main tank. It fits exactly into the kind of stuff I like doing. So if I don't really, you know, think it's broken, I'm gonna have to tell you guys I don't think it's broken, you know? Because I really don't think it's particularly broken. I do, however, think it's imbalanced, not imbalanced in like a, oh my gosh, this thing's broken kind of mentality, but imbalanced in a sort of, its skills are stacked in one spot. And so then people get trashed by those skills and then they feel it's broken. Or they rely on those skills because they're playing in casual and they don't really get punished for normal things. And they, you know, don't really see the character from like a full perspective sort of thing. So I think the primary fire damage on this character is really like low, to be completely honest. I think its basic capabilities are very weak. I know you can like buff it up with its, ooh, that was a nice fire strike. Where you at, bro? Oh, we were letting him do this, man. Okay. I know you can buff it up with the rage and all that stuff, but it doesn't thrive in a coordinated environment. I played this character, and when I'm playing against people who aren't too good, I absolutely tear them up. I farm my rage, I go run into them and abuse them, make them sad. Like, yeah, that's all normal. But when it becomes a situation of, where are these guys at? They're on the flank? They above us? I want someone res. No. Get away from me, man. You can give me that rage, I'd be kind of lit. Ooh, this is getting kind of close. When you put it into a coordinated environment, you just end up taking too much damage. Your rage buffs your damage, but it doesn't really make it strong enough to be justified, like, as like a reason that your character is like a carry or something like that. The regular like ranged primary fires only do 85 damage. 85 damage. I would have to hit 16 of them to kill something. 14 or whatever. I don't know, my math might be a little bit off, but it's a lot, right? You can get hard focused, and something I think people really kind of underestimate in this game is like how much pressure you can put a tank character in this game under by just pressuring it. And since you don't have like the sustained healing, like if there was sustained healing in this game, okay, somebody help me, someone res, no. If there was sustained healing in this game, then it would change a lot, just because you could constantly be getting your rage up and you could constantly be pushing into enemies, but there's not. So if you're playing against a good team, to build your rage up, you basically have to like take a bunch of damage. And that sort of damage is damage that like you more or less can't get back. And so it puts you in a situation where like, yeah, you're fragging out, but you're also like, or really not you're fragging out, you're trying to frag, but you can't because you're getting like absolutely clapped because now you have 300 HP. And like you get your rage up, you pop it, and you're getting poked out. So basically, like you start off at like a, it's like your primary fire. You start off at like being at like a disadvantage sort of thing. Oh man, I want to kill this guy. Did I just get a mine dropped on me? Kind of sad. This is not the best map for this guy, by the way. You want to really like linear place like playing a flak fort, but I'm doing it anyway because why not? It basically like you start off without your ultimate, playing like you're like half a character, kind of, not half a character, maybe like, I don't know, 60% of a character kind of thing. Like you're not up to snuff entirely. You're not like fully strong. And what ends up happening with that is you end up like having to work really, really hard to get to the point where you can. Am I really not gonna hit this guy? Okay. I mean, that kind of stuff is a little bit annoying, but... And I still got him. Get rolled, kid. Speaking of which, I feel like my little damager does more damage to something when it's downed. I feel like I'm doing more than 85. Ooh, come on. It's just kind of that stuff. You can be kited really easily, and your damage when you actually use your rage ability only puts you at like a solid like standard level of rating. It doesn't make you like super powerful. It just puts you like on par with other players. And the thing is, you're exploitable up until that point. And since you can't like play it slow and get healed up and build your rage, you'll just lose. They'll push you over and they'll beat you. There's nothing you could really do about that. Alright guys, so here's some more from this Melee Zaku discussion about whether it's really good, to be honest. So one thing that's really, you know, I think relevant to talk about is the fact that it's not good at range at all. Like, to be completely honest, I'm playing on this map just because I want to talk about it, but I'm gonna get like no value until we get into the other section of it. That's ooh, that is rough. That's like a really not good thing, to be completely honest, like for a character. Not every character needs to be good everywhere. Like I get it, but this character versus something like versus something like Sazabi, which it feels more or less the same fundamental role as. Sazabi is playable on most maps, even though it's also like a close range based character. And so what does that really tell you also is just that like Sazabi's more versatile. There are situations in these sort of maps where you do have a map where you go from like long sight lines to short sight lines in the same map. That's normal. That's kind of to be expected, you know? This game doesn't have like the same sort of stuff that like Overwatch does, where it's pretty consistent throughout the game. So it's not like unreasonable to just expect other maps to be like this and for just maps to be like that in this game at all. And so, you know, that's one like tick against it essentially. But even in this whole section of this map, like I haven't been able to play yet, you know? And like, yes, I said I'm playing in a situation that it's not ideal at all to be playing it. Maybe I can frag out here though. And even there, like, I'm in my literal element and I'm not able to really survive that. Like, you know, yeah, you might be like, okay, well done, you could have used your you know, survivability, but that wouldn't have done anything at all. You know, the shield ability, the block ability is actually just worse than shooting normally. It only blocks 30% damage, and while it's really cool and I like the idea behind it, you will take 30% less damage just attacking normally. To be completely honest, like literally just strafing, your hitbox moves around a lot, which is one thing that I guess is like a, you know, that is good about it, but that part of its kit does nothing. So if someone's like really good at aiming, like that whole portion of its kit gets no value. Pain. Get him, Marside. Get him. Get the res. Get the res, bro. Honestly, better for him not to go for that if he's certifying that we get that diffuse. But his character isn't good at range. Its block ability does nothing. You're playing at like 70% value until you get your ability, and it's just like you can't survive playing at like a 70% value against a decent team. They will stop you from existing like 100%. Like they will make it so you don't get to play the game, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about that, and you will suffer and you will cry. Now when you get to do this, then yeah, you become pretty darn OP, and it's kind of GG for the enemy team. Where'd this guy go? Went upstairs. I also have my rage ability back, but even that ticks down. So if you're not like consistently getting damage, like say goodbye. Rip. Playing against something like an Exia, you will get absolutely rolled. It can just dash into you, deal a bunch of damage. You only have 1200 HP. It's not like, you know, you're building armor from blocking damage with your block or something like that. You know, it's not like a super high number of stuff that you can actually get off of it. Where are these guys at? And I can't poke from range very well, because if I poke from range, I'm just not going to be able to do like nearly as much damage, basically. Like it's not like I have like, I'm doing 180. Yeah, and you also get outranged a lot too. And by I mean outsped, essentially. Like, don't get me wrong, this character's close to being where it needs to be. They need to change the way its ultimate works. The fact that it can just spin around and spin to win and kill so many people is busted. Its melee damage isn't solid enough. It needs to be able to play as like a consistent character and then have the rage be like something you worked really hard to get. But it needs the ultimate to not be like, you know, as busted. Like, look at this sort of damage. It's honestly kind of pathetic. That part's fun though. That part's good though. Oh, imagine getting killed by a turret. Alright, so now you're seeing me push into an open area, generally open space kind of situation, which is not really this character's strength. But really, you're going to get a lot of value from being able to set up on like predetermined sight lines and being able to just basically frag out from there. But with this character in this situation, I can't do that, right? So I'm in a little bit of a bad sort of situation for this character. Now, we might end up rolling through them because we are definitely a better team than them. But the core fundamentals of like, I need to be able to push into space and, no, just too far. You can be able to push into space and deal damage and oh, hello. And frag out is just not really easy to do. I basically like, look, like I'm sitting here like having to decide between like, do I want to charge up my rage or do I want to get health, you know? And that's, that is not like ideal at all. Like it's fundamentally defying like what my character is supposed to do, man, you know? And that's not really ideal in the slightest. This goes back in general to the whole like having to make that decision in the first place being an absolutely silly thing that shouldn't be in the game. I probably should just make a whole video ranting about that in a little bit anyway. But like now with this character it gets even worse. And so when you're playing against a good team where like you'd need all of those HP points to be able to like to aggro push into people, you'll struggle and you'll die. And so now that I like finally earned up my thing, I'm so low HP, and if I didn't have this repair pod to like heal myself up with, I kind of just lose. You know? Like good teams won't give you that time and they won't give you that space. Good players won't let you do that. Where'd this guy go? Come on. Come on, come on. Yeah, so I popped off there too a little bit, but you know, like it's just... That was like the perfect situation to play that character. Nice, small, close quarters. That's not like, you know, if you're sitting there like, oh, this character can do what it's really supposed to be able to do in its perfect situation, that's not like... You know, that doesn't show that the character's good, right? It's really when it can do like everything outside of that circumstance too, is when things become problematic. But yeah, guys, so I don't know, let me know what you think. I think it's really just that this character's ultimate's insane and kind of scary when the character just runs into you, but from an actual like tanking perspective, from playing as a main tank like this character really should be, it lacks the primary fire damage to sustain the space it needs to be in. And the fact that you don't have latent healing and people consistently heal you causes a lot of issues in general too. If you're looking for some more Gundam Evolution videos, then make sure to check out my mobile suit guides. I made one for all original to 14 mobile suits, and I did a Should You Main Guide series also, covering the same mobile suits and talking about whether you should actually main them in Gundam Evolution or not.